I stand in front of the mirror staring at a stranger. Perfect makeup. Designer clothes. A body sculpted through 2 years of obsession. But all I see is the fool who destroyed everything. My name is Arya Chun. And this is how I ruined my own life. 3 years ago, I was different, 50 pounds heavier. Living in oversized sweaters, married to Daniel. My college sweetheart. He wasn't rich or particularly handsome, but God, he loved me. We had a modest apartment, regular jobs, evenings spent cooking together. It was simple. I thought it was enough. Then I started noticing things. How people treated beautiful women differently. My friend Jessica would walk into rooms and every head turned. I remained invisible. Something dark grew inside me. A hunger. Arya, I made your favorite pasta, Daniel said one evening, his eyes warm. I glanced up from my phone, scrolling through Instagram, looking at lives that seemed so much better than mine. Thanks. I barely tasted it. I was already planning my transformation, already saving money, already pulling away. He'd hold my hand during walks and I'd pull back. My hands are cold. He'd suggest weekend trips. Maybe next month. I'm saving for something. For what? Daniel never asked. Maybe he was afraid of the answer. Looking back, I can pinpoint the exact moment I started taking him for granted. It was so gradual, so insidious. One day I loved him. The next, I was looking past him towards something shinier. 6 months later. Everything changed. I joined an expensive gym and hired Marcus as my personal trainer. Handsome, confident, successful, everything Daniel wasn't. I stopped eating Daniel's meals and started counting every calorie obsessively. I took out a personal loan without telling my husband, spending thousands on procedures, treatments, a new wardrobe. Arya, are you okay? You seem different lately, Daniel said one evening, reaching for my hand across the dinner table where I now pushed food around instead of eating. I'm fine. I'm just trying to improve myself. Is that a problem? The sharpness in my voice made him flinch. I didn't apologize. Part of me wanted him to fight for me. Another part was already imagining a different life. Marcus pushed me harder than anyone ever had. During sessions, he'd compliment my progress, his hand lingering on my waist. You're going to be absolutely stunning, Arya. You've got potential most people never realize. Potential. The word echoed in my head. As if I'd been wasting myself. As if Daniel had been holding me back. My mother Helen visited one Sunday and immediately sensed the tension. Sweetheart, marriage is about more than appearances. Daniel is a good man. I know, Mom, I'm just taking care of myself. I couldn't meet her eyes. Are you? Or are you running from something? I changed the subject. Daniel tried everything to reach me. He'd wake up early to make me healthy breakfasts that fit my new diet. He'd offer to work out with me. He'd tell me I was beautiful every single day, but his love felt like chains. Every compliment reminded me he loved me when I was less than. Somehow that made me resent him instead of cherishing him. 18 months after I started, I barely recognized myself. 55 pounds gone. Glowing skin. Perfect hair. Designer everything. The transformation was complete. Wow, Arya. You look amazing. My coworker Lisa gushed when I returned from a 2-week recovery vacation. The office buzzed with compliments. I felt like I'd finally become who I was meant to be. Daniel's reaction was different. When I walked through our apartment door that evening, he looked at me with something I couldn't identify. Pride mixed with sadness. Maybe fear. You look beautiful, he said softly. You always have, thanks. I was already pulling out my phone to check Instagram. Hundreds of likes. Comments from strangers telling me I was gorgeous. That's when Marcus started texting me outside our sessions. Casual at first, motivational quotes, fitness articles. Then more personal. He asked about my day, share details about his life, make me laugh. I found myself smiling at my phone constantly, waiting for his messages. Who are you texting? Daniel asked one night as we lay in bed. Just Jessica, I lied. The truth was, I'd been emotionally cheating for weeks. Every message to Marcus was a small betrayal. Every laugh a theft from the man lying beside me. My friend Rachel noticed something was wrong over coffee. She'd known us since college, been a bridesmaid at our wedding. Arya, you seem distant. Is everything okay with you and Daniel? Everything's fine. I wouldn't meet her eyes. Rachel had always been perceptive. I knew she wouldn't approve of where my thoughts had wandered. The truth was, I was already gone. Physically, I still lived in our apartment, still wore Daniel's ring. But mentally, emotionally, I checked out. I was just waiting for the right moment to leave. Asterisk. The affair started on a Friday night. Daniel was working late extra shifts to help pay off debt I'd secretly accumulated. Marcus invited me to a party at an upscale lounge. Come on, Arya, you've worked so hard. You deserve to have some fun. I told Daniel I was going out with girlfriends. Another lie slipping easily from my lips. The party was everything I'd imagined: beautiful people, expensive drinks, attention from men who looked at me like I was precious. Marcus introduced me to his world: Tyler, a real estate investor; Vanessa, a social media influencer; Damien, who owned nightclubs. So you're the famous Arya, Vanessa said, looking me up and down approvingly. Marcus won't shut up about your transformation. Honestly, you should document this journey. You could be a major influencer. The validation felt like oxygen. Like I'd been suffocating and could finally breathe. Marcus pulled me aside later. The music pounded around us. He stood so close I could smell his expensive cologne. You're incredible, Arya, you know that. Thank you, I whispered, heart racing. Your husband must be proud. The way he said husband made it sound like an obstacle. He is, but it's complicated. Marcus leaned closer. You've outgrown your old life, haven't you? It happens. People change. It's not your fault. His hand touched my waist. I didn't move away. I kissed him that night. In a dark corner of that expensive lounge, I betrayed 5 years of marriage to a man who'd never once made me doubt his love. And the worst part? I felt alive. When I came home at 2 a.m., Daniel was waiting on the couch. The apartment was dark except for one lamp. He looked exhausted, worried. Where were you? I called you 15 times. My phone died. I was with Jessica and the girls. I told you. He looked at me for a long moment. Arya, what's happening to us? Nothing. I'm just tired. Can we talk tomorrow? I walked past him, already texting Marcus that I'd made it home safely. That night, lying beside Daniel as he pretended to sleep, I made my decision. I was leaving. I deserved more than this ordinary life with this ordinary man. Asterisk, I asked Daniel for a divorce on a Tuesday morning. Daniel, I think we should separate. I stood in our kitchen, unable to sit, unable to look at him directly. My designer handbag was packed for a business trip, actually. A weekend getaway with Marcus. The coffee mug in his hand stopped halfway to his mouth. What? I've changed. I'm not the same person I was when we got married. I need something different now. The words sounded hollow, like lines from a bad movie. Arya, whatever's wrong, we can work through it. That's what marriage is. We can go to counseling, take a trip together, anything you want. His voice cracked. I had to look away. I don't want counseling. I want a divorce. The finality in my voice made it real. No going back. Is there someone else? He asked quietly, already knowing the answer. I could have lied. Maybe I should have. But I wanted to hurt him, wanted him to let me go without a fight. Yes, his name is Marcus. He makes me happy in ways you never could. The look on Daniel's face will haunt me forever. Not anger. I could have handled anger. It was devastation. Complete heartbreak. His hands trembled as he set down the mug. How long? Does it matter? How long, Arya? Barely a whisper. A few months. He nodded slowly, like everything suddenly made sense. All the late nights. The distance. The way you stopped looking at me. I kept telling myself I was imagining it, that you were just stressed. But I knew. Deep down, I knew. I'm sorry, Daniel. I really am. But I can't stay in this marriage anymore. I've outgrown us. The words tasted like poison. So that's it? 5 years together and you're just done? Because you lost weight and found someone with more money? His voice rose for the first time, anger finally breaking through. It's not about money. Then what is it about, Arya? Because the woman I married wouldn't do this. She wouldn't throw away everything we built for some trainer with a nice car. The woman you married was settling, I shot back. I'm not settling anymore. He looked at me like I was a stranger. Maybe I was. Fine, you want a divorce? You'll get one. But don't come back when you realize what you've thrown away. I won't, I said confidently, believing I never would. I moved out that weekend. Daniel made it easy. He didn't fight, didn't beg, didn't make a scene. He just quietly packed boxes with my belongings, his face blank, his eyes empty. Living with Marcus was everything I'd fantasized about. His penthouse overlooked the city floor-to-ceiling windows. Modern furniture, luxury everywhere. We went to exclusive restaurants where meals cost more than I used to spend on groceries in a month. Parties where everyone was beautiful and successful. For 3 months, I felt vindicated. I posted photos constantly, Marcus and me at beach resorts, rooftop bars, gallery openings. I wanted everyone, especially Daniel, to see how red I'd been to leave. But small things started bothering me. Marcus was always on his phone, even during dates. He'd cancel plans last minute if something better came up. When I got the flu, he stayed at a friend's place. Marcus, I really need you today. I feel awful. Babe, I told you I can't get sick right now. There's medicine in the cabinet. You'll be fine. He hung up before I could respond. I lay in his huge, cold apartment alone, remembering how Daniel had taken a week off work when I had pneumonia, never leaving my side. Making me soup every day. I pushed the thought away. Daniel was the past. Vanessa started showing cracks too. Over brunch one day, after too much champagne, she confessed, "Being beautiful is exhausting, Arya. Everyone wants something from you. And when you're not perfect anymore, they move on to the next pretty thing. Trust me, I'm 28 and I can already feel myself becoming invisible again." Her words unsettled me, but I laughed them off. We're not going to get old anytime soon. That's what I thought at 22. The sadness in her eyes, I didn't want to acknowledge it. I tried calling my mom, but our conversations were strained. She'd ask about Daniel. I'd change the subject. She'd express concern about my lifestyle. I'd get defensive. Finally, she said something that cut deep. "Sweetheart, you're chasing something that doesn't exist. Real happiness doesn't look like a social media post. You don't understand, Mom. You settled for an ordinary life. I want more." The words left my mouth before I could stop them. My parents had been happily married for 35 years, deeply in love. But I was too proud to take it back. "I hope you find what you're looking for, Arya, before you lose everything that matters." She hung up. We didn't speak for months after that. Rachel stopped returning my calls entirely. Jessica told me bluntly, "You're changing, Arya, and not in a good way. You've become someone I don't recognize." I told myself they were all jealous, but late at night, when Marcus was out with clients or at the gym, I'd lie in that enormous bed feeling completely alone. Everything fell apart on my 31st birthday. Marcus had promised to take me somewhere special. I bought a new designer dress, spent hours getting ready. Imagine the perfect Instagram photos. He came home at 9 p.m. 3 hours late with Vanessa hanging on his arm. Both drunk, laughing at inside jokes. "Happy birthday, babe," Marcus said casually, kissing my cheek like he hadn't completely stood me up. We ran into each other at Tyler's place and lost track of time. "You don't mind, right? Vanessa's having a rough day." I stared at them, humiliation burning through me. "You forgot. You completely forgot my birthday." "I didn't forget. I said happy birthday, didn't I?" "Don't be dramatic, Arya." He walked past me to the kitchen, Vanessa trailing behind, barely acknowledging my presence. That's when I saw them. The looks they exchanged. The familiar way she touched his arm. The inside jokes. I wasn't part of. My stomach dropped. "How long?" I asked, voice steady despite the earthquake inside me. "What?" Marcus opened a beer, not even looking at me. "How long have you been sleeping with her?" Vanessa looked uncomfortable. Marcus just shrugged. "Come on, Arya, you're not naive. This is how things work in our world. Don't act like some traditional housewife. We have fun, and that's what matters. I left my husband for you." The words came out small, broken. "And I never asked you to do that," Marcus said coldly, his mask finally slipping. "Look, you wanted the lifestyle, the parties, the attention. I gave you that. But if you're looking for some fairy tale romance, you're with the wrong guy. I thought you understood that." The truth hit me like ice water. He'd never loved me. I was just another beautiful woman in his rotation, a trophy to show off. I'd been so focused on his looks, his money, his status that I'd never seen who he really was, someone incapable of real love. Someone fundamentally selfish. Get out, I whispered. It's my apartment, Marcus laughed. You get out. Your stuff will be here for 3 days, then I'm donating it. I left that night with one suitcase, my phone, and my shattered pride. I'd given up everything for a man who saw me as disposable. I checked into a cheap hotel. I couldn't afford anything better since. I quit my job months ago to be available for Marcus's schedule. That night, I did something I'd been avoiding for 8 months. I looked at Daniel's social media. I don't know what I expected, maybe to see him miserable, pining for me, proving I still mattered to someone. What I found destroyed me. Photos of him at his sister's wedding, smiling genuinely. Pictures of him hiking with friends I didn't recognize. Posts about a promotion at work. Comments from women flirting openly, and then I saw her, a woman named Sophie, appearing more frequently in his photos over the past 3 months. She was pretty in a natural way, with kind eyes and an easy smile. The way Daniel looked at her in those photos, it was how he used to look at me. I'd been replaced, completely, like I never existed. Asterisk, I told myself I just wanted to apologize, to check if Daniel was okay, but the truth was more desperate. I'd lost everything. Marcus was a lie. My friendships had crumbled. I was nearly broke. I needed Daniel. I wanted him back. I started with a simple text. Hey, how are you? No response. 3 days later. Daniel, I know I hurt you. I just want to talk. Please. Nothing. I tried calling. Straight to voicemail every time. He blocked my number. Panic set in. I created a new number through an app and tried again. Daniel, it's me. Please, I need to talk to you. I made a terrible mistake. I miss you. This time I got a response, but not from Daniel. This is Sophie, Daniel's girlfriend. He asked me to tell you to stop contacting him. He's moved on and you need to respect that. Please don't call or text this number again. The words felt like a knife. His girlfriend. He had someone else, someone protecting him from me. I'd become the villain, the crazy ex-wife he needed to be shielded from. I showed up at his workplace the next week. I waited outside until I saw him leaving, then rushed over. Daniel, please, just 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. He looked at me with absolutely no warmth, no recognition of what we'd once had. Arya, you need to stop. This is borderline harassment. I made a mistake. I'm so sorry. Everything with Marcus fell apart, and I realize now that I threw away something precious. I threw away us. Can't we at least talk about, so you only want me back now that your new life didn't work out? He cut me off, voice sharp. Let me guess. Marcus wasn't the prince you thought he was? The glamorous life wasn't as fulfilling as you imagined? I couldn't respond. He was exactly right. You don't want me, Arya. You want someone to catch you because you fell. That's not the same thing. He stepped around me, heading toward the parking lot. I love you. I called out desperately, not caring you heard. I never stopped loving you. He turned back. For a moment, I saw something in his eyes, maybe pity, maybe the ghost of what we'd had. No, you didn't. You loved what I did for you, how I made you feel. But you never loved me, not really. If you had, you wouldn't have left the way you did. That's not true. I was confused. I was selfish. You were selfish, Arya, and I forgave you for that a long time ago. But forgiving you doesn't mean taking you back. I've moved on. Sophie makes me happy in ways I'd forgotten were possible. She chose me when I was at my lowest. You only want me now because you're at yours. Do you see the difference? I did. But I didn't want to. I'm asking you one last time, please stop contacting me. We're done. We've been done. He walked away. I stood there in the parking lot, watching him drive off, knowing I'd never see him again. Months passed. My life became a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. I moved back in with my parents. My tail between my legs, my pride completely shattered. My mother held me while I cried, but didn't say, I told you so, which somehow made it worse. My father barely looked at me, disappointed in ways he'd never been before. I tried to rebuild. Found a new job. Started therapy. Attempted to piece together friendships I destroyed, but everywhere I went I saw reminders of what I'd lost. Couples holding hands. Happy families. Even strangers seemed to be living the life I'd thrown away. I stalked Daniel's social media obsessively, watching his happiness from afar like a ghost haunting her former life. He proposed to Sophie 6 months after our divorce was finalized. The ring was modest, probably all he could afford after I'd drained so much of our savings. But the joy in Sophie's face was real. So was the love in Daniel's eyes. I sent one final message from a burner account, unable to help myself. I hope she knows how lucky she is. I hope she never takes you for granted like I did. He didn't respond, but I saw that he read it. Maybe that was enough. Or maybe I just needed to say it to acknowledge out loud what I bossed out my therapist. Dr. Morrison asked me tough questions. What are you really grieving? The person Daniel was, or the security he represented? The relationship you had, or the one you wish you'd appreciated when you had the chance? Both, I admitted. I'm grieving both. And I'm grieving the person I used to be before I let vanity poison everything. Tell me about that person. I thought back to the woman I was before, imperfect, insecure, but capable of real love. That woman had been happy cooking dinner with her husband on a Tuesday night. She'd found joy in simple pleasures and genuine connections. The new me, the transformed me with the perfect body and designer clothes was miserable alone. And hollow. I destroyed everything trying to become someone I thought was better. But I just became worse. Rachel reached out eventually, the first friend to extend an olive branch. Over coffee, she was brutally honest. Arya, you hurt a lot of people. You hurt Daniel worst of all. But you also hurt yourself. The question is, what are you going to do now? Are you going to spend the rest of your life trying to undo the past? Or are you going to accept what you did and actually become better? I don't know how, I confessed. Start by stopping. Stop texting Daniel. Stop stalking his social media. Stop wishing for a time machine. Accept that this is your life now and figure out how to build something real from here. It was the hardest advice I'd ever received and the most necessary. Asterisk, it's been 2 years now since I left Daniel. 2 years since I made the worst decision of my life. Daniel married Sophie last spring, I know, because my mom still talks to his mom, and information filters back whether I want it or not. They're expecting a baby. A little girl. I'm happy for him. I mean that. It took me a long time to get to a place where I could say honestly, but I am. He deserves every bit of happiness he's found. He deserves a partner who sees his worth from the beginning. Not in hindsight, Dottis, for me. I'm still rebuilding. I'm working as a marketing coordinator at a small firm, not glamorous, but honest work. I moved into my own small apartment 6 months ago. It's nothing like Marcus's penthouse or even the modest place Daniel and I shared, but it's mine and I earned it. I've lost weight again, but this time from stress and heartbreak rather than careful planning. The irony isn't lost on me. The body I destroyed my marriage for no longer matters much to me at all. I work out now for health, not for attention. I dress well for myself, not for social media validation. I deleted my Instagram account entirely, the carefully curated life. I'd posted there was just another lie, sometimes. I see couples who remind me of Daniel and me the way we used to be. A man holding his wife's hand in the grocery store, laughing at something she said. A husband surprising his partner with flowers for no reason. Those ordinary moments that I dismissed as boring and insufficient. I understand now that they weren't ordinary at all. They were precious. They were love in its purest form. My mom was right. I was chasing something that didn't exist, some perfect life that I convinced myself I deserved simply because I was beautiful. But beauty fades. Bodies change. Looks are temporary. What Daniel offered me was permanent, and I threw it away for something fleeting and hollow. I'd been on a few dates in the past year. Nice men, some of them quite successful. But I can't seem to connect with anyone. Maybe I'm still punishing myself. Maybe I'm protecting them from me, or maybe I'm just broken in ways that can't be easily fixed. Late at night, I still sometimes wonder, what if I'd appreciated what I had? What if I'd worked on our marriage with the same intensity I put into transforming my body? What if I'd chosen to see Daniel's value instead of taking him for granted? But those are useless questions. There are no time machines, no do-overs, no way to unbreak what I shattered. I learned the hardest lesson life can teach. Some mistakes are permanent. Some doors once closed never open again. Daniel won't even respond to my messages because there's nothing left to say. I had true love, genuine devotion, real partnership, and I traded it for Instagram likes and a man who saw me as disposable. No, I live with that choice every single day. This is my karma. My consequence, my life, and I only have myself to blame. The end.